you're in Asia, play with us!
Ready up live?
Ready up live.
Ready up live?
What's up, everybody? I'm Greenskull, and I'm here with CruelLEGACEY.
What's up, guys?
We're chilling in Toronto. We went for some drinks and stuff, and we're hanging out now. We decided to talk about our trip to Vancouver with Forward Unto Dawn.
Everybody out there is finally getting to see the fruits of our collective labor, the footage that we shot there, and of course the trailer, the official trailer is now out. So we thought it'd be a good time to get together and reflect a little bit on everything we saw, what we've seen so far, maybe tell some stories.
Yeah, well, right off the bat, I was saying before, there's a story I really wanted to tell, which was how we had to be quiet on the set all the time. So, we'd be talking and we'd be doing stuff, and we just hear this loud shout, like, quiet on the set, or rolling, or whatever, and you just had to stop what you're doing. You had to stop in place, everyone would just stop moving, everything would go quiet.
Except us.
Except us. Like, something would go wrong every time, every single time. So, for instance, I tripped down a staircase, like, I like slid down a few steps, and the looks I got were hilarious. It was quiet on the set, everyone stops. I think BS Angel was in front of me. She turns around to look at me, being like, shh, and I slipped, and just went like thump, 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 thump. I'm like, oh, and like the steps were like hangy, like the metal thing was like so it was just so loud, and I felt so bad, and everyone else turned and looked at me, and I'm like, oh man, right?
It was pretty good. We were all just ahead of you on the staircase, and we were like tiptoeing as gently and as softly and as quietly as possible, and I just hear this and before I even turn around, I'm just like, I know that's Dan. That's gotta be Dan.
That other time with, who was it? The 343 guys?
It's Kevin Grace.
Kevin Grace.
I felt, because he was in the middle of answering one of my questions. I'd whispered him a question, and he was kind enough to whisper an answer to me. And from about 20 feet below, one of the crew in the middle of the shoot somehow heard us, turned around, and it was like the gaze of the Terminator, you know? Like, I swear I could see his pupils glowing red.
Yeah.
And he just gave the,
oh yeah, the
Kevin and I,
just the turn he did was so like ominous.
It was that instant
so angry,
that snap turn, you know, his back's over here, and then the sudden, you know, and we both just sort of.
What was funny was just to see that so many people got in trouble for it, right? Like, I felt bad, and then I realized everyone did something and had to shush up. Like, even when we were doing interviews, we had to just stop what we were doing and everyone be quiet, and someone would say something, but like, keep it down. Like, I yelled something at some point when I was doing my interview. I'm like, no! And I was like, whoa, be quiet, bud.
One thing that you've all probably seen our interviews at this point. What you can't tell from those videos is that we were conducting the interviews in this large hangar, and the hangar was separated from the room that the filming was happening in by nothing more than a single set of double glass doors.
Thin glass.
And it was amazingly soundproof. Like, you sort of forgot where you were to a certain point, where, you know, we'd be talking with the actors or Frank and Kevin, whoever we were interviewing. We'd be joking around, making a whole bunch of noise, and you know, as we're going from this hangar room back into the main set, we'd pull open the glass doors, and someone would be in the middle of, you know, laughing very loudly, and then, you know, you pull the door open and step into the room where they're actually filming in, and all of a sudden the whole crew can hear you, right? And so we got quite a few death glares like that. It's got to be tough to be like the guy whose job it is to stand on this set and shush people all day, because like, he was busy. He was working hard all day.
There was a lot of people being shushed. Yeah. One thing I thought was really funny was that as soon as we entered, and throughout the trip, we always heard about this food table. This food table, so like as soon as we entered like the hangar it was in or whatever, there was this table of food, of anything you can want, you know, cookies,
craft
M&Ms,
services is the official
cheese, right? Like, it's, you name it, it was on that table.
It really is like the heart and the center of the film set, right?
And that's what's funny is that we heard that every time, right? It's as soon as we entered, it was right there, and they're like, oh, did you notice this? We'd meet someone new, they say, oh, nice to meet you, nice to meet you. Have you seen the most important part of the hangar, like important part of the set? It's the food table, right? Very important.
I did drink about 18 cups of coffee that day, so you know, it was important.
Well, it was pretty cool hanging out in like the hotel.
That was very cool.
That was a lot of fun, hanging out with Jessica, and even when Jessica liked to, she had a lot to do, she had to moderate stuff, etc. So she had to go to her hotel room a lot earlier than a lot of us did. So we got to hang out in the pool, like go swimming and stuff like that. So that was a lot of fun for sure.
Definitely.
Another thing that was crazy was how much like secrecy we had to go about. For instance, when we were in the vans, even like there was like sheets, like paper sheets on the sides of the vans that'd be like, this is what you can't take pictures of. Do not bring out your camera until this point, right? Like, all these rules about even being in the van was just, it was so strict.
And being on the set and the various levels of secrecy that different people on the set are dealing with. You've got the cast and crew have their own sort of set of things that they're allowed to talk about and not allowed to talk about. You've got the people from 343 and what they're allowed to talk about and what they're not allowed to talk about. You've got us showing up, and I felt like we were we added a bit of confusion into the mix. There were definitely some points where someone would be about to tell us a story, and then you see them stop and go, am I allowed to share this story with these people?
Or they'd show us all these like pictures on their laptop, and then we'd have BS Angel or someone else looking over going, you shouldn't show them that. They're not allowed to see that. And they'd be like, oh, it's okay. Like, no worries.
They're under NDA. They can't say anything. To keep the secret moving forward from there.
Man, 2 months or whatever it was of not saying anything. Like, I had to lie to my friends. I had Minolta even. He drove me to the airport, and I told him I was visiting my family. So when I got home and he picked me up from the airport, he's like, oh, how was your trip? So I'd just be like, oh, I was, my dad's good. We had some cake, which was delicious. It was, it was just covered in cake stuff, and like, it was really weird, cheap. And it was funny that, I wanted to tell people, just because it was such a cool experience. I'd be hanging out with some friends, having a beer or whatever, and they'd be like, oh, what have you been up to this summer? I'd be like, I've been the usual. I've just been hanging out, making YouTube videos, and
recording episodes of the Modcast, having other guys on the show bring up Forward Unto Dawn, and
oh my God,
pretending not to know anything about it.
I forget where I was. That was one case. I can't remember specifically. Where was I? But there was some case where I had to explicitly speak to people. I'm pretty sure it was on some podcast I was on or something where they were talking about Forward Unto Dawn. I had to pretend I was giving theories on it and stuff like that. And and it's been funny even making my YouTube videos, right? Because I make my Halo 4 news videos, and I had to talk about Forward Unto Dawn and be like, it looks like this guy's in Forward Unto Dawn, right? Tom Green is the actor of Forward Unto Dawn. Whoa, right? Like, it's been really weird.
Now that we've seen the trailer, what do you think of it?
Phenomenal. Like, it was so much cooler because we talked about in the Modcast that it looked awesome on the screens while we were watching it. Like, I could watch the movie like that. Like, it looked good. And then even after the edits, it was like, wow. Like, I don't know if you saw one person's we saw the cafeteria fight scene in the trailer. I'm like, I was there, right? Yeah. And there was one shot, and there was someone's face, and I clearly remember sitting in the room watching that part being
remembering
filmed,
that
right?
take.
I remember that specific spot. It was really cool to say, we were there for that. Like, that was really awesome. I loved the trailer. It looked great. Like, it's, I've been sending it around to some friends who aren't necessarily gaming fans or whatever. They've been like, oh wow, like this is a movie, right? Like, this looks good.
It looks very impressive. It's especially impressive when and I don't think many people know this, the unbelievably short amount of time that this was put together in. I mean, we were in Vancouver roughly 6 or 7 weeks ago, right? And they were, 3/4 of the way through filming, right? They weren't even done filming yet. And so 5 weeks total of filming, and then another break of 5 weeks, and then this trailer with the level of polish, the level of detail.
Looks great.
It looks so good. It's so well put together. I love the atmosphere of the trailer. I love the tension that they're building, the idea of how scary the Covenant are to these people who have never seen, these are freaking space monsters attacking these kids, right?
It's like, whoa.
And the level of tension around it is very, very cool. The chief, we saw the chief in person.
We know how badass he feels, but they definitely pulled that off.
He looks better
right?
on camera.
Absolutely.
He looks absolutely awesome on camera. I'm very, very excited about that. I'm getting to show this trailer to people, I'm showing it to my wife, and she's like, this is a way bigger deal than I thought it was.
Yeah, I've got that too, right?
She had this really
it's just some simple Halo thing. But no, this is legit.
She had this funny moment where she sort of comes to me. She says, "Yeah, one of my students said that he just saw some big shot from some website mention you on Twitter," and
funny.
Which of course was Fran from IGN's video,
That's awesome.
The video director at IGN.
Awesome.
We had the privilege of sharing the day with him in Vancouver, and he joined us on an episode of the Modcast, and so he was giving it a shout out, and so it's like these people who are in my life, my wife, she's kind of in my life a little bit, but very detached from what we do on the gaming side of things, suddenly going, wow, people who you know, just vaguely sort of know you are hearing about you from other people. Like, this is a big deal.
It's
like
huge.
this is a cool, like, it's the magnitude of this project, of this Forward Unto Dawn project, is really starting to reach out there and hit people who aren't as focused on the gaming world, which is already kind of a success story, right? I mean, that's a big part of this project, is get Halo out there, get it out there as you know, a place for storytelling, you know, a world for fantasy, and some of that fantasy is told in the games, and some of it's going to be told in books, and some of it's told in this live-action web series. It's just
Halo's just a big thing in general.
And it's getting bigger all the time.
And what an incredible experience, for sure. Like, it's wow. It's you know, I've been telling some friends, and they've just been freaking out that, you know, I got to hang out with some of these actors and actresses, and, you know, that's something that really wasn't told through the videos we released, right? That's, you know, we had an entire day to literally hang out with these people, right? Literally hang out in the rooms, have tacos with them, right? Eat lunch with them, have some, you know, it was very interesting.
I was really, really just surprised to see how excited the cast was to meet people from the Halo community, because, you know, all the actors that we talked to, some of them were gamers, some of them have played Halo before, some of them knew about Halo and had read some of the books, but weren't really into playing video games, so they didn't have a big experience that way. But they were all really, really interested to see, like they're nervous even to see, oh, are the fans gonna like this? They all really got what a big deal this was. And so when Dan and Jeff and I all walked onto the set, we were sort of, you know, we were kind of
like the inspectors of the restaurant, right? We came in with their checklist, be like, is this all right?
And we were sort of told at first to, you know, the actors, they're working long days. When they come into the green room, keep your distance. Let them just relax. And so we weren't really in a hurry to go up and talk to them. But they came rushing over to us. And, where are you guys from? What are you doing? What do you think of this? What about this? Do you like what you've seen so far? What about the costumes? They were really, really eager to know.
Ostrich and Kat and
Anna, Tom.
They
were
just so cool.
Fantastic.
Right? Such cool people, just to be able to, and, you know, have them asking questions about what we do, right? And be actually interested. You know, they're probably so used to sitting there just getting, you know, all these questions, and to hear them come in and be like, oh, like, you know what? How often do you make YouTube videos, right? And just ask questions like that. It's really interesting to hear that from. That's such a different side.
Because this is, for a lot of them, this is sort of their gateway into the Halo world as well. And it's one of those things that, even if they're aware of what a big deal it is from the outside, to suddenly be in it the way they are, and they were at Comic-Con this week getting to interact with the fans for the first time, which must have been really, really crazy, huge to them. And of course, some of, you know, Daniel Cutmore has got to be used to this. Hannah Popwell's got to be used to this.
Some of the other guys, right? Like Kat and Tom, maybe a little bit, but definitely not as much as those kind of guys, right? They're jumping into this huge role.
And so, I mean, I've got to think they must be happy with the reception that it's had so far. I mean, the Halo fans are loving what we've seen so far, and man, I just can't wait to see more.
For sure. All right, well, thanks for joining me, man. Be sure to check out our stuff. If you haven't seen my other videos, you know, I'll link them around here. Same with his. He has some. Grim Brother ones also.
CruelLEGACEYProductions.com.
Boom, right there. Easy as that, right? Make sure you check out, because we all cover different content. It's not the same stuff. We all decided who will have what. So we all have different stuff. If you want to get the full Forward Unto Dawn story, go to everybody's. Also in the description. Don't miss it all. And it's good catching up with you. I'm excited for the actual thing.
Come back to Toronto more often.
Oh, absolutely will. Thanks for talking.
Thanks, guys.
You got this, buddy.
Come on, man. You're not the one who's been drinking.
Pay attention.
I'm getting closer to you, Dan. Am I close enough?
How was it?
I need to go put on a robe.